frustrated that you guys weren't able to have the counter cabling for the On F America tour, and that really pissed me off.
The person running it? Yeah, I'm talking about Erika, the one everybody treats like some kind of evangelical Joan of Arc. I used to work under her, and she's not
aware of the plans. I have his journals that are aware of the plans. Like, there is no confusion of what's...
Erika Kirk is back in the spotlight, but this time, it's not for the image people are used to seeing. A newly surfaced video appears to show a side of her that feels very different from the calm, forgiving persona she's publicly presented. And according to ongoing public discussion, that contrast is exactly what's starting to raise eyebrows. This moment stands out for one key reason. It wasn't meant to be seen. This wasn't a staged interview or a polished appearance. The footage was reportedly captured behind the scenes during a moment when she likely didn't expect to be recorded. That alone shifts how people are interpreting everything. Someone clearly felt this moment mattered enough to document, and that says a lot.
Frustrated that you guys weren't able to have the counter cabling for the On F America tour, and that really pissed me off, especially because we have some really good people that could be on campus to counter.
Now here's where it gets more layered. Situations like this don't usually come out of nowhere. The clip was reportedly taken during Erika's visit to Arizona State University, where she's seen addressing staff in what appears to be a tense exchange. In that moment, she seems visibly frustrated, allegedly saying they didn't do enough to counter-program students who opposed TUSA, a phrase that instantly caught attention. And here's the line that sticks. The tone, the wording, it all feels noticeably different from her usual public messaging.
And the person running it? Yeah, I'm talking about Erika, the one everybody treats like some kind of evangelical Joan of Arc. I used to work under her, and she's not who she pretends to be. Charlie figured that out near the end. I think that's why he's gone.
Even that phrase, counter-program, has people pausing, since it's not something you hear in everyday conversation. Place that next to her, past messaging about unity and forgiveness, and the contrast becomes hard to miss. In interviews with major media outlets, Erika presents a very specific narrative. She's described her team as overwhelmed, exhausted, and even facing serious threats, according to her own statements. But the tone in this newly surfaced footage feels different, and that contrast is what's now pulling attention. Here's where the tension builds.
My poor team is exhausted, and every time they bring this back up, what are we supposed to do, relive that trauma all over again?
If a team is already under pressure, what does strong leadership look like in that moment? That question is starting to come up more hotchak in public discussion, and it matters. Because Erika isn't just a public figure, she's the CEO of Turning Point. Expectations at that level are higher, especially when it comes to communication. Now here's what stands out most. In the clip, the approach is being interpreted by some as more direct and personal rather than strategic. Instead of focusing on adjustments or planning, the tone feels sharper. One moment can shift perception, and this one clearly has. And this is where the story expands.
He wanted to take us in a new direction, away from the whole Christian Zionist thing. He started saying it out loud, that America's movement needed to stand on its own, that we couldn't just keep doing PR for another country. And that's when everything started changing around him. People he trusted started keeping him out of meetings. His calendar got lost more than...
This video isn't the only thing people are talking about. A few months ago, an anonymous insider connected to TPUSA shared claims about internal changes after Erika stepped into the CEO role. According to that account, there was a noticeable shift in direction, though these claims remain unverified. One detail adds even more intrigue. The same source suggested there had been discussions about taking the organization in a different direction before things began changing internally. That context, confirmed or not, keeps the conversation moving. Then another voice stepped in. Candace Owens has also publicly questioned the organization's direction, adding even more visibility to the situation. And with that, the discussion around Erika's leadership only continues to grow.
We believe, and this is why the Christian Zionism thing becomes so important, that they can hijack our emotions and tell us that it's our biblical duty to support the state of Israel, because I think the state of Israel is probably involved in what is happening at the border, in what is happening overseas. It is definitively involved in all these wars. I mean, everywhere you look, Israel.
Now circling back to that whistleblower, their claims push the story even further. According to their account, TPUSA didn't just gradually change after Charlie stepped away. It was allegedly redirected by individuals presenting one image publicly while operating differently behind the scenes. If true, that's not a small shift. It's a complete pivot. Here's where it gets tricky.
a inner circle at Turning Point USA that was constantly working against Charlie and his interests. But he had a whole entire branch of Turning Point that he had no idea about, and that was the stock market branch. This stock market group that Turning Point has been throwing millions of dollars into the stock market for the past 4 years now, and Charlie Kirk had no knowledge of that whatsoever.
On the surface, the messaging still looks familiar. Same themes, same tone, same delivery. But according to ongoing public discussion, some critics believe there's a disconnect between what's being said and what's actually happening internally. And perception alone can change everything. Then more voices started coming forward.
Everyone in senior management? More men. It's not random. The CIA's been recruiting from that pool forever. You know why? Because they're good at compartmentalizing. They can hold two worlds in their head, faith and function, and never let the wires cross. Perfect spooks. Perfect operators. Now, with her at the top, it's all locked down, the money's flowing, Israel is satisfied. And Charlie? He's just a ghost in the machine.
One former TPUSA member, Joshua Peterson, claimed there was internal conflict within the organization. According to his statements, certain groups were allegedly working against Charlie. He also raised concerns about financial decisions that he suggested lacked transparency. These claims are not confirmed, but they've definitely intensified the conversation. And here's another layer.
In this church, I'm listening to this TPUSA speaker go on and on about Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, and how they're evil and anti-Semitic. And he basically indirectly is saying we should support Israel because Jesus was a Jew and we wouldn't have Christianity without Judaism and blah, blah, blah. I don't think Charlie Kirk would stand for that. We know as the weeks before his passing, he was starting to call out Israel.
Joshua also stated that Charlie was attempting to distance the organization from certain international funding sources. According to him, that move created friction internally. If accurate, that could explain why tensions may have escalated behind closed doors. The pattern people are pointing to is simple. The more direction was challenged, the more resistance reportedly appeared. And situations like that rarely stay hidden for long. They surface, one way or another.
On everything, he has papers everywhere. This says... It's the priorities. It says family, children, legacy, kids number one, versus careerism, consumerism, and loneliness. That's interesting.
Now the key shift. This is no longer just internal talk. The conversation has moved outward, and it's picking up serious momentum. A young woman recently went viral after sharing her experience at a TPUSA faith event, and her story immediately caught attention. In her video, she said the environment didn't feel centered on faith the way she expected. According to her account, the focus seemed more aligned with a specific political message than with biblical discussion.
Influence and Turning Point that he was not very fond of, that he wanted to get rid of. He tried doing this, he tried creating a Doge department, and he gets assassinated.
She also claimed that certain public figures, including Candace Owens, were portrayed negatively during the event, and this is where things start to build. One video turns into multiple voices. As more personal accounts appear online, the spotlight around Erika continues to grow.
Leans on me for, investments or politics. We are given different gifting. There is a general rule, and the general rule is that women are far more gifted at people and caretaking.
What started as a single perspective is now turning into a wider conversation, and that shift changes everything. Now here's what people are focusing on. According to ongoing reports and commentary, there have been internal changes involving staff who expressed concerns about leadership. Some critics, including Candace Owens, have described the situation as intense and highly controlled. In one statement, she referred to it as the Scottsdale witch trials, claiming employees were being questioned about their loyalty to Erika. She also described situations where staff were reportedly confronted over minor remarks, investigated, or dismissed without clear explanations. These claims haven't been independently confirmed, but they've added noticeable tension to the overall narrative. Now here's the question that keeps coming up. How did Erika step into this role? According to public remarks, TPUSA presented an alleged audio of Charlie expressing support for Erika as his successor during AmFest 2025. But no full video has been released. And that missing piece, it keeps the speculation alive. Audio can be edited, clipped, or taken out of context, but video is much harder to question. And that's exactly why some people are asking for more clarity. Here, according to ongoing public discussion, the decision to present only an alleged audio clip has left room for doubt, especially among those already questioning how everything unfolded. One missing piece can change the whole picture. Here's where the debate deepens. Some critics point back to Charlie's past public statements about traditional roles. In interviews, he spoke about work, family, and responsibility in a very specific way. Based on those comments, some now question whether he would have chosen Erika as his successor. It's not confirmed, but it keeps coming up. Another detail keeps resurfacing. Reports have circulated about a note Erika allegedly found in Charlie's office, emphasizing that family responsibilities should come before career focus. The authenticity and full context of that note haven't been verified, but it continues to be referenced in the broader discussion. And here's what really stands out. There's no widely available video or clear, public record showing Charlie directly naming Erika as CEO. Yet soon after, she stepped into the role and quickly expanded her reach, including a position on the advisory board of the U.S. Air Force Academy, despite having no publicly known military background. And here's the final question. How did all of this come together so quickly? The timeline is tight, the details are debated, and that's exactly why people are still paying close attention.